So I bought the brand new KENZO HOMME EDT Marine, which is the latest flanker in the KENZO HOMME line of men's fragrances. Now I absolutely love the EDT Intense and the Eau de Parfum, so I'm hoping this is going to be as good as these. So I'm going to open this up and give you my first impressions of it. Some of the notes in KENZO HOMME Eau de Toilette Marine are sea notes, ylang ylang, sandalwood and musk. So I'm going to spray this thing on my hand, on paper, and of course up in the air. Ooh, so fresh straight away. And this is very interesting. I'm definitely getting that sort of homme DNA that I get in the EDT and a bit in the Eau de Parfum, but this feels like that, but in a much lighter kind of way. So yeah, I'm getting a bit of that sort of a KENZO aquatic DNA, which is quite unique. You either absolutely love it, which I do, or you dislike it. It doesn't seem like there's a middle ground. You either love it or you hate it. So this opens up with that sort of a marine scent, but this compared to the previous ones are definitely like a lighter version of it. I do pick up the musk in the background, really nice, soft, and sort of a fresh kind of musk. I'm getting something else, which I suppose is the ylang ylang, but I'm picking up something that is a bit salty, definitely more sort of a salty than the EDT Intense was, and something that is actually quite sweet. So I'm not sure where that sweetness is coming from, but I find this scent to be, this is a tough one, and I really feel now I gotta do a comparison of at least the EDT Intense and this, because these two are the most similar ones out of these three. But I mean, fresh, musky, a bit salty, a bit of sweetness, a bit of fresh sweetness. This is not a heavy, or at least to my nose, too deep or too sweet kind of sweetness. This is a lighter, fresh kind of sweetness, and I like the opening a lot. So I'm going to let this thing dry down and share my thoughts on the dry down. So it's time for the dry down. And the dry down is basically where I'm getting more of its woodiness. So in the opening, I could barely pick up on its woodiness. In the dry down, it's definitely there with its marine side and that musk. So it feels a bit, at least based on this first impression, that when this thing dries down, its marine side becomes a bit softer and that woodiness becomes a bit stronger, with the musk sort of staying on the same intensity. And I like it. This is, but I'm not sure, maybe I'm actually enjoying the opening through to the mid more than the dry down. I do need to test this a bit more though, because I got a bigger dose of that initial freshness and sweetness and sort of a saltiness. The dry down actually feels a bit more, leaning a bit more towards its woodiness and musk. So it's still a really nice, enjoyable dry down. But I mean, at least to me, what really makes these so unique is its unique freshness. And in the case of at least the EDT Intense and this, it's sort of a sweetness. And I'm getting much more of that in the opening through to the mids than in the dry down. So yeah, at least based on this first impression, opening, mids, really nice. A lighter take on the EDT Intense. And the dry down, I mean, yeah, you still get some of that marine aquaticness in the dry down. But the dry down is basically, at least to me, right here, right now, based on this first impression, something that is much more woody, musky than aquatic fresh. You can still feel its aquatic side sort of in the background, but this is more woody, musky in the dry down. So to sum this up, This basically opens up with that sort of KENZO aquatic DNA, but like a lighter version of it, with a muskiness to it and a bit of sweetness, a light and fresh kind of sweetness, and something that feels a bit salty. I really like the opening through to the mids. You get that unique kind of freshness, but in a lighter way, and I think it's a fantastic opening. But when it starts to dry down, things, at least to my nose, shift quite a bit. And this goes from being something aquatic fresh to being something like woody with a bit of freshness and musk. So woodiness first with a bit of musk in the background and a bit of that aquatic freshness in the background as well. So this is, yeah, I'm gonna say that if you absolutely hate or dislike that sort of unique KENZO freshness and DNA, then you will most likely not enjoy it in this one as well. But with that said, since this, at least to me, is a much lighter version of that sort of a DNA, you might actually be able to enjoy this even if you did not enjoy the EDT Intense. But please do try it before you buy it, just to make sure you're not one of those who do not enjoy that sort of a DNA. So here are my initial thoughts on usage. So like versatility, occasion, stuff like that. This is very much a fresh kind of scent, a unique fresh kind of scent. So obviously use it summertime or whenever you want a more unique kind of fresh scent on you. So I'm definitely going to use this on warm summer days when I go on a beach vacation or when I'm coming out of the gym. If you compare this to other fresh scents, so as an example, if you compare this to Acqua di Gio Profondo, I do feel Acqua di Gio Profondo is a more versatile, mass appealing kind of fresh scent. So I feel that one is perhaps a bit more suitable if you want a fresh scent to work and stuff like that. When it comes to performance, at least based on this first impression, I don't feel this is as strong as the EDT Intense. The EDT Intense is wickedly strong. It projects in a crazy way with a fantastic longevity. But based on how this thing sort of oozes from my hand, I feel that it's definitely not a weak fragrance. So all in all, I like it. I really do. This is for someone who truly enjoys that DNA. This is for someone who wants a more unique kind of freshness. If you love the EDT, if you love the Eau de Parfum and want the lightest version of them all, then please do try this one out. If you absolutely hated those two, then this is probably not for you. But like I mentioned before, since this is a lighter version of those, and a bit different but with that DNA, there's a chance that even if you did not enjoy those, you might enjoy this one, you might. But don't blind buy this, please try it before you buy it. So I would love to know how you feel about KENZO Homme EDT Marine. Is this a good fragrance or not? Make sure you put it in the comments. Please do hit that subscribe. Please do hit that notification bell. Please do drop a like on this video. Thank you. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you check out the videos over there. Oh yes, and I'll see you in the next one.